You guys should go build each class that I'm talking about as well and go give them a shot. But as you can see, man, from range, it's still gonna feel really nice. But I'm telling you guys, this thing's nuts, dude. It's so meaty, and all you gotta do is pull down on your recoil just a tiny bit, and at range, you're just gonna melt everybody. And then remember, if you guys want to try and make it a little bit longer range, just go ahead and use the VLK. This thing will be a monster for you. I'm telling you right now. YouTube, what's up, man? We're back in business just 9 days away from the release of Season 1 MW2, as well as Warzone 2 and presumably DMZ. Now, the video I'm bringing you guys today are going to be the top 5 loadouts that you guys can go level up right this second for the release of Warzone 2. You guys can make sure you have all the best guns ready to use right when the game comes out. If you guys are watching this and Warzone 2 is already out and you don't have the Modern Warfare 2 game, I'll be uploading a video on the fastest way you guys can level up these guns in Warzone 2 if you don't have the game itself. Now, we don't waste any time on this channel, so I'm going to jump straight into the video. I'm going to have a little bit of a mix of everything in here for different play styles, and as far as SMGs, ARs, some longer range weapons, a sniper rifle or two, everything you guys are going to need to know and want to use are going to be in this video. If you guys haven't yet, leave a like, comment, interact with the video in any way. It really helps the channel get out to people who haven't seen us yet. It's the reason we've got over 4,000 new subscribers just in this last week or so. But yeah, enough of that shit. Let's get straight to the classes and show you guys what you came here for. So first off, I'm going to be talking about the Lachmann sub, the MP5 submachine gun. Now, as far as subs go, I'm really only going to be talking about this one. I think there's 2 assault rifles that I'll get to in a second. It will play similarly to the SMGs. There's just some better ARs right now, but the Lachmann can still hold its own. So here's the best attachments. This gun's super fun and just always a classic, so definitely something you guys want to use. First attachment here under the muzzle, we're going to be looking for the Bruin Cubic Comp. We're going to want the extra vertical and horizontal recoil control that gives us, just in case we get in a little bit of longer gunfights. Since we are playing Warzone 2, we're not necessarily going to be in close quarter combat the entire game. We got to have a couple attachments that will stabilize our weapon at range. So that's why we're also going to use the Merc foregrip on our underbarrel. This thing's going to give us recoil steadiness, as well as just some good hip fire accuracy and recoil control for close range fights. Now, the Merc's going to be your best bet because it doesn't take away as much mobility as the pineapple grip does. But if you're playing with the MP5 more like an AR, you can try out the pineapple grip. You're just going to lose a little bit of mobility, but get some added recoil control a little bit more. Now, we're actually not going to use a barrel on the MP5 for Warzone 2, but as far as the laser goes, we're going to use the VLK LZR. Okay, this is going to give us some ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. It's going to make it feel like that classic MP5 you're used to. Then we're going to jump down to our magazine and we're going to use the 40 round mag. There's no need to use the 50 round mag. It really just gives you too many negative stats for the 10 more rounds. And then lastly here under the rear grip, we're going to use the first one, this Lachmann TCG10, just for, again, some more recoil control. We'll take this into the firing range and we'll do this for each weapon. You guys should go build each class that I'm talking about as well and go give them a shot. But as you can see, man, from range, it's still going to feel really nice. Obviously, you're not going to really have the damage that you'd have with an AR, but the recoil's there to get in fights, especially if you're playing with teammates. Also, you guys can see here with our crosshairs, our hip fire and our recoil control from there is really nice. This thing's gonna play like an SMG and be the best bet that you guys can use if you're actually wanting to use a sub in Warzone 2. The MP5 can be a little bit annoying to unlock. You guys are gonna have to use the Lachmann 7.62 battle rifle until level 13, which is when we will unlock the Lachmann 5.56 assault rifle, and we need to play with that until level 12 to then unlock the MP5. Just gonna kind of give you guys like an honorable mention here with the FSS Hurricane. This thing can be crazy. I'm gonna show you guys the attachments. Not gonna spend too much time talking about it. Just want to give you submachine gun players another option that you guys can use. I think this is really viable. Again, this is going to be one of those submachine guns that plays a little bit more like an AR, but it's going to win you those close range gunfights, all because of your ADS speed, your sprint to fire speed, stuff like that. It's going to be really nice. Now, on the flip side of the submachine guns, the only LMG I'm going to talk about today, the Icarus. This thing's really easy to unlock. Everyone typically uses that M4 first when they get into the game, and we only need to get it to level 18 here to unlock the Icarus, and I promise you guys it's going to be worth it. As far as the attachments on this guy go, on our muzzle here, we're going to scroll down to the Icarus 80. This is going to give us some suppression, obviously, as well as bullet velocity, range, and recoil smoothness. For our barrel here, we're going to use the FTAC Cold Forge 16-inch barrel for some extra damage range as well as velocity. Again, we're probably going to be taking fights with this thing at longer range, so that bullet velocity is going to help our bullets travel a lot faster. Not dealing with any drop or needing to lead our shots or anything like that. That's a huge attachment. And then our optic here, there's really kind of 2 choices you guys can go with. I think it's super personal preference, and I'm going to tell you which one I like more, but really it's up to you guys. The VLK 4x optic, we're used to this from Warzone 1. The sight's going to be amazing. Slap that thing on, you'll have a good old time. And then the Forge Tac Delta 4, I really like this one as well. Kind of that more classic ACOG. I like this one a little bit more because I think the bezel's smaller and just the sight's a little bit better. But instead of a 4x magnification, it is a 5.5. So if you want to play it a little bit longer range, go ahead and use this one. If you want to play with this kind of like a Meteor AR, just go ahead and use the VLK. And then the last 2 attachments here on our rear grip, we're going to take the Seiken just for some added recoil control. And on our underbarrel, we are going to come find that pineapple grip grip because it is just unmatched when it comes to the recoil control at range. I'm telling you guys right now, this thing's gonna be a monster. And as you can see, the ADS speed's a little slow, but honestly, it's coming out of the ADS. It's not necessarily aiming in, but I'm telling you guys, this thing's nuts, dude. It's so meaty, and all you gotta do is pull down on your recoil just a tiny bit, and at range, you're just gonna melt everybody. Something I've kind of noticed with the Icarus is the longer you're shooting, it gets a little haywire. So if you guys can just be nice with your initial shots, you're not going to have any problem. I'm not going to jump into the Raal MG too much, but this thing has one of the fastest time to kills in the game. So I thought it was kind of an honorable mention. I'll throw up on the screen if you want to pause it. I'll quickly show you guys what this thing looks like in the firing range, just so you can see how fast the time to kill is. It's really good. Definitely worth giving a go as well. It's just a little bit slower, plays more like an LMG than the Icarus does. The Icarus can kind of play like an assault rifle combo. This thing's going to be nasty from range though. So if you guys are wanting to go for those range fights, give this a shot. We could see a lot of these LMGs step up the RAP H as well as the RPK. I just think using the Icarus right at the launch is going to be so important because that pineapple grip is universal, and it's just going to be really key to use on a lot of these weapons. Okay, so next up on our assault rifles, I'm only going to be talking about two of them. The first one's going to be the STB or the AUG. For our optic, we're going to use our Cronin mini red dot sight. If you guys want to play in a little bit longer fights, go ahead and use that VLK or the TAC Delta 4. But then on our barrel, we're going to use the first one, the Bruin. This is going to give us some bullet velocity, range, and recoil control. On our underbarrel, there's really two that you guys can go ahead and use depending on how you want to play. The Lock Grip Precision. This thing's going to give you some recoil steadiness without giving you too many negatives. But if you want to play with some more recoil control, just go ahead and again use the Pineapple. On our rear grip, we're going to use the Bruin Q900 for some sprint to fire and ADS speed. And then we're going to do that on the comb as well. We're going to use the FTAC C11 for some added stats there. Because remember, our barrel is actually going to take some of those stats away. So if we kind of counter that, we can make a really well balanced weapon. And I'm telling you guys, this thing's going to melt, dude. This thing's already crazy in multiplayer. Everybody knows how crazy the AUG is going to be this year. And then remember, if you guys want to try and make it a little bit longer range, just go ahead and use the VLK. This thing will be a monster for you. I'm telling you right now. And you know what, man? I'm going to give you my cheat code. I'm going to give you one more honorable mention in the assault rifle category just because it's, again, easy to unlock. And man, at range, it's going to be nice. Okay, I feel like the assault rifles I talked about don't necessarily cover range too well. And everyone's going to be talking about the M4 or the SCAR, the TAC 56 here. I'm telling you, the TAC 56 is going to be a lot better. You can build this thing with plenty of recoil control. And it has one of the fastest time to kills in the game. So here's the attachments. I'm not going to go over them. Just trust me, they're goated. I'll give you guys just a little bit of footage from the firing range just so you can see it. But dude, this thing's going to be so nice. Look at that, bro. Oh, I love this gun. I'm telling you, it's my favorite gun in the game, and no one gets behind me on that. I don't know why. I love the TAC 56. It's so much fun. I think the AUG will be one of the more long-range ARs that we see that kind of compete with those LMGs. But then also, if you just want to play with that close-range meat firepower, bro, the 74U is just amazing. The thing with the AK platforms is everything can be a little bit hard to unlock. So if you guys are trying to get these guns, it might take a little bit more work. But the attachments for the 74U, we're going to use on our muzzle, the FTAC Castle comp. Just for, again, some horizontal and vertical recoil control. Barrel, we're going to use the Short Tac 330mm just for some bullet velocity recoil control. We're also going to use the Cronin mini red dot again. I don't think the VLK and stuff will play as well on the 74U. This thing's kind of going to be used best for people who are more run and gun, like to start and initiate fights. On our stock here, we're going to use the Spetsnaz S10. This is going to give us a lot of attachments that kind of make it feel more like an SMG, that crouch movement speed, ADS speed, sprint speed. And then lastly, on the underbarrel, we're going to again come use the Pineapple. I'm telling you guys, this thing's super universal. That's why using the Icarus is just really nice. But yeah, if you guys have used this thing in multiplayer at all, you know how just dominant it is right now. It might not win those longer range fights like some other weapons do, but the overall damage that this thing puts out like can't be matched. It's literally nuts. Oh, as you can see, having a little bit hard time there. I'm gonna give you guys an absolute effing sleeper build too. I'm not gonna go into explaining this. If you really want to take it into firing range, you should, bro. This thing's crazy. I'm telling you guys, for the 74U, this thing just gives you 0 recoil. I really can't explain it. It's very strange, but I'm loving this variant in multiplayer, and I thought I'd put it in the video just for kicks and giggles. I don't typically run a sight, and what you guys should do is come in here to your high velocity, bullet velocity ammo. It makes all the difference. It's really quite nuts. Last but not least, the sniper rifles. There's really only two that you guys are going to want to use during Warzone 2. The first one is going to be the SPX-80. This thing's a beast to unlock. You got to use the SPR, then the SAB, then the LAB, and the SPX-80. First up, on the laser, we're going to again use the LAZ laser. It's only visible while you're aiming down sight, but it's going to give you some stability as well as ADS speed, which is nice. Now, we're actually not going to use any barrels for Warzone 2 because we're going to lose out on damage range on each and every one of these. Instead, we're going to add damage range. So coming into the muzzle, there's only going to be 2 attachments that do that. both of our suppressors here, and we're really just going to lose out on some ADS speed. Again, depends on how you play with the sniper, but in Warzone 2 you guys are going to want to use this Bruin Agent 90. Okay, it's a lot less of negatives that you're going to get, but it's still going to give you the added damage range that we'll need. Other than that, that's the only damage range we can use. So the other attachments like our rear grip here, we're going to use the Slogger just for some sprint to fire, and ADS speed we're going to get back because we're now using a suppressor. On our stock here, we're going to use the PVZ 890 just for some sprint to fire as well as ADS speed again. Something that can also help you if you're kind of just laying in the bushes, playing a little bit more like a sniper would. You can come in here and use the reinforced lock bolt for some rechambering accuracy. We don't necessarily care about the speed, but the accuracy should be just fine. And as you can see from the ADS speed, it's really not that bad. Like, it's not horrible, especially with the attachments that we've got on. It's not going to be bad at all, and it's still going to one-shot absolutely everything. Even at range, you're not really going to see any difficulty as long as, I mean, I hit a headshot there, but as you can see, I'm going to do one last kind of honorable mention on the snipers for the MCPR 300. Again, this is going to be the first sniper rifle that we all unlocked. So if you don't have the SPX 80, you guys can come in here, use this sniper rifle. You'll be just fine. If you get sick of the hit markers with the SPR and you're not necessarily playing with it close range, this thing can act as your long range sniper. As you can see, the ADS speed isn't too bad, and shots that are above the chest will really in most cases be a one shot. I shot that guy in the leg last time, but you can one shot just fine with this thing. So that is going to be all. I know I gave you guys more than 5 loadouts, but I just love you too much. I want to give you more than one option. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you end up enjoying the classes, again, come back, make sure you leave the video a like, comment, interact with it in any way. It helps it get out there to people who haven't seen our channel yet. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys have a kick-ass day. If you're just starting it, sleep well. If you're just ending it, come hang out on the live stream. We're live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on YouTube. And if not, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, man.